What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon and Elijah.
I'm your other host, Elijah. Let's kick it off. The elephant in the room. You got it all over the notes here at the beginning. Just got my bag packed for Rolling Loud.
How soon are you leaving?
I leave. So we're recording this on Wednesday, and I'll leave like Thursday morning. So like at 2 a.m. I'm driving to Chicago. So
Okay, go crazy. I'm excited for you. It's definitely gonna be a good time.
no, of course, yeah. The vibes is just a little bit different in New York, I felt, than Miami, and I think it's better in my case.
I was
Miami's,
gonna ask that if you had a preference between the two, because I know you're a vet in the Rolling Loud game.
yeah. I guess this will solidify my decision, but I'd say all around vibes just were a little bit better in New York. Kind of like in Miami, it's fun, of course, but it's just like it's summertime. These kids are out of school. You kind of get the crowd that's going to be there.
I feel that. Who are you most looking forward to seeing in New York this year, though?
Big Sean's a big one. There's a lot of people I haven't seen, which is like New York's like perfect for me. There's like Big Sean and Pusha T obviously are probably at the top of my list, along with a full set from ASAP Rocky, Nicki Minaj as well. Haven't seen 21 Savage yet either. That's a sleeper. And hopefully Chief Keef, he didn't show up in New York last year. So hopefully I'm able to see him this year.
Yeah, hopefully they can figure that all out. This is a deep lineup. I'm looking at it. I mean, Rolling Loud always comes with the strong lineups, so you know what you're going to get. But man, this is pretty good. I'll never forget like the first years of Rolling Loud, looking at the lineup, like there was no chance I was going, but I was like, oh my God, I want to be there, because I had like Kendrick headlining and stuff. That was different, especially for them being so early. Obviously he's headlined since, but it was really crazy then. Yeah, deep lineup. There's a lot of like sleepers in here though too. Westside Gun, Danny Brown, Boldy James and the Alchemist, Benny the Butcher, of course. There's some sleepers.
It's like
you can see
there's a lot of people I haven't seen yet, that'll be super nice. So
yeah, the one person I'm gonna say that, if it all works out, you should see is Ben Riley. I'll put you on. Ben Riley, he's on Sunday. He's like the last line in the lineup, so he'll probably be fairly early in the day, but man's got some hits, so yeah, I'd definitely check him out if I was you.
We'll see how it plays out. Of course, they don't drop the set times till the day of, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
That's always tough. I like to plan it out a little bit, but either way, it always works out.
I mean, it's only 3 stages as well. They're all pretty close together. Miami, it was a J. They had 5 stages, and it was just I had to fucking sprint to see Dirk after Kid Cudi left. Like there was some conflict there.
Yeah, that's crazy, because that's kind of how Lala is. Lala has like probably 7 stages, 6 stages, something like that. So and it's a pretty big park. So you're walking from one end to the other end if you want to see some big people. But typically I like find my person or my stage and stay there for most of the day. But yeah, if you're moving around, you're gonna be feeling it the next day.
No,
so I can't even imagine doing it multiple days, because one day and I'm done.
Definitely, it's a grind, but I don't really feel it until like I'm coming back. So I'm getting to the airport, the flight back. I'm like, oh fuck, like my body is just.
That flight back has to just be ass. Like you're just so physically drained. You just want to be at home, but you got to sit on this airplane for how many hours? Doesn't sound ideal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all worth it, of course. I keep going back, so it's can't be too bad,
Yeah, I feel you. So yeah, we talked about the lineup a little bit. Are you thinking there are gonna be any special guests? Obviously there will be, I guess, but who do you think some of these special guests might be?
I'd like to see Nicki bring out Lil Wayne, of course. Drake's like his name's getting thrown up every Rolling Loud. No one's too big, but he's never made an appearance. So maybe with Future, maybe with Nicki. Unlikely though. I'm not counting hold my hand for that or whatever. But fucking, we'll see what happens, I guess. I can't really think of anybody else. Like in Miami, there were obvious ones. Travis Scott, maybe Kanye. We were saying, but. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, Drake, I mean, he's like one of the only artists that hasn't been at Rolling Loud at this point. You have Kendrick, you have Kanye, you have J. Cole, you have, the biggest artists.
Everybody, yeah.
Except for like Tyler. I guess Tyler hasn't been there, but it's kind of a different lane than what he's in. But yeah, I think it's just kind of a matter of time before Drake does make that appearance. So I mean, it'd be pretty cool if it was this time.
There's some, in the headliners even, like with Nicki Minaj and Future both there, we'll see. I'd assume it'd be with one of those two, but you never know, I guess. I mean, Future always has a crazy special guest, so we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, he's connected for sure. So yeah, gonna be a good time for sure. But yeah, so we recorded last Sunday for the last episode, and now we're recording on Wednesday. So fantasy football week 2 has officially concluded. How did it wrap up for you? We said we're going to give a little update week by week to see how things are going.
I lost week 1 for both my teams. You know, got the W for both teams this week, so up to 1-1. And I mean, I feel like week 1 was a fluke because I'm like really high in the points scored. So, you know, I think I was just playing a really good team the first week. So there's an asterisk there about those losses.
Yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. I started off 0-3 across my 3 leagues, lost 1 league and then won the other 2 this week. I won my 2 money leagues, so that's a big dub. The league I lost is our like fuck around league where we can take a player from the losing team. And so I have now lost Josh Allen and Austin Eckler for nothing. So tough. So I might just never win a game.
No, yeah, that's a real possibility in that league because I mean, you just keep losing players, keep stacking up. Who are your I feel like every year in fantasy football, you just have 2 of those guys. You know, they're not, you know, superstars or anything. You got them maybe a late round pick, but they're just, who are your 2 early guys?
I'm going to go with Drake London for sure. And then I'm going to go with James Robinson, the ISU legend. I got to show some love. Those 2 guys have been showing out. I haven't played either of them yet. They've both been up. Well, I played. Actually, I don't know if I played James or not, but I definitely have not played Drake London. He's been on my bench, but I think one game he's going to make it.
I have him in both leagues. You know, I was forced to start him in my $100 buy-in league. So I mean, that's a big boy league there. And he did his thing, you know, almost had 25 points. That's one of them. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I had him last year.
He's different this year. Yeah. He's crazy.
So, I mean, those are 2 of my guys this year. And then Michael Pittman, of course, I had him last year as well. So.
Yeah, he's solid for sure. Got a good little situation this year. Yeah, I've never had an NFL jersey. I've kind of been wanting to get one. I don't know. I used to want Alvin Kamara jersey back. He was my guy for a couple of years. So, but I don't know who I'd get at this point. I also like Jalen Waddle. He popped off for me. So I could rock with a Dolphins jersey, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If I get a football jersey.
I mean, yeah, I'm in the market for a new Eagles jersey. You know, I got Jalen Hurts right now. I have Carson Wentz, who's obviously no longer with the team. So, I mean, I think I'm looking probably AJ Brown, maybe Devontae Smith. So
I actually just realized I was totally capping. I have had 1 football jersey, but I probably only worn it 5 times ever. I want you to take a guess. What NFL jersey do you think I have?
Jonathan Stewart.
That's a really good guess. No, it's Khalil Mack.
Ooh, that's a weird one.
Yeah, it was right when he got traded to the Bears. It was right when he got traded to the Bears. So yeah, I had to get it.
I would have never guessed that one.
Well, I played Madden a lot the year before, and the Ultimate Team or whatever. I had him, and I was going crazy with him. So I was a really big fan of Khalil Mack before he was on the Bears. And then if I had an NFL team, it would be the Bears. So I was like, okay, let's get this jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jonathan Stewart or a Ravens player. So.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked offensive player in hindsight. Probably I'm more
defensive
tied to those
and linemen in general. You know, it's not as appealing.
Khalil Mack, a dog though.
No, yeah, I could get a Fletcher Cox jersey, but I just feel like I'd much rather have a skill position player, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I think it's time. Last week we did the Drake hits bracket. You know, I love some songs on that bracket, but sometimes they're a little bit too mainstream. They're played a little bit too much. I'm a little bit sick of them. This week is the Drake deep cuts bracket. Some songs that might not have much success in the charts, if any, but he is Drake, so he's charting 15 songs an album at this point. But maybe there's on the charts for a little bit or whatever. This is a interesting one. There are some great songs on this. We each picked 16 songs, put them on a bracket, shuffled up the songs, and here we are. Had to switch some because we had 6 or 7 Take Care songs all on the left side.
Yeah.
So I put a couple onto the right side just to, even it out a little bit. But yeah, we got most of the albums represented here with at least one song. It's going to be a good one.
It is. This is these are the tracks I'm listening to, obviously, the hits, of course, but I mean, these are the ones I'm playing on a regular basis. So I'm definitely excited to get into it.
Definitely going to be a good one. It's a deep bracket. There's so many good songs on here. There's a couple, that I'm not rocking too hard with. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into it. First matchup, we got a new song. We got Sticky versus Crew Love.
I really enjoy Sticky, but it's OVOXO. I mean, like this is an easy one, but Sticky is not a bad track. I think Sticky is going to lose first round regardless of what it was going against, but it got a heavy hitter here.
Yeah, it definitely got a heavy hitter. These were two songs that I picked. So, I got love for Sticky if I picked it as one of my 16, but it's not OVOXO. That's an unbeatable combo. I had to give a little
maybe
bit
not unbeatable,
Yeah, maybe not, but in the first round, probably. Yeah. Had to give a little bit of love to, probably my favorite song on Honestly Nevermind, though. That or Jimmy Cooks. We had Jimmy Cooks last week, so I had to give Sticky some love this week. But yeah, Crew Love is, just a powerhouse in the first round, at least. We'll see how the matchups look moving forward.
Definitely.
All right, moving on. Round 2, we got Charged Up versus Camera's Good Ones Go interlude. How are you feeling here?
I really like Charged Up. I kind of wanted to give it that nod, obviously Back to Back's the more successful of the two diss tracks towards Meek Mill. But Charged Up's a slapper. Like, it's not a crazy diss or anything like that. It's a good first diss though. I just want to give it its flowers, get it on the list here as a sleeper Drake track. With that being said though, Camera's pretty easily for me.
Yeah, it's definitely Camera's. A long song. You get the two parts of it. Both are great. I don't know. Charge Up, it's a fine song. I definitely used to bump it a lot, but it's just a little bit boring in hindsight. Like, he's not really doing too much. The beat's a little bit like, I don't know, almost understated. Like, it's pretty just chill. And he's just kind of has like a monotone type flow. Like, he's really not doing anything too crazy on it. Whereas I think Camera's the very like dynamic, introspective type track. And I gotta go with Camera's.
Definitely. I'm in agreement with you there. So,
all right. Next matchup, we got Successful versus You and the Six.
I'm curious to see where you're at on this one, but I'm with You and the Six. That song is a slapper. Successful is very good, but for me personally, You and the Six.
Okay. So You and the Six is a song that I definitely used to listen to a lot. But something about it, I just kind of was off of it for a while. Then as we made this playlist and I was listening to all these songs, I liked it again. I think the part that I didn't like was where he just says mama at the end of every line for like a bunch of bars. And I'm like, I think that was a turnoff for me a couple years ago. And then I came back to it. I think it's a really strong beat, great storytelling out of Drake.
I feel like in the lyricism within that, of course, the mama gets repetitive, but he's got bars in between it, or like, he's spitting real shit. So
yeah. And now for Successful, I do love Successful. So I told Elijah this, but I'll fill the listeners in. I went through and I've ranked every one of these songs this morning so that I could have, like a foundation for my thought process. Well, I didn't do the matchup, but you could have done it too.
He cheated basically.
You could have done.
That's what we're gonna say.
That's not
he
cheating.
He cheated.
You knew the 32 songs as well. Anyway, I didn't rank them as seeding. I just ranked them for my personal list. Anyway, just to be clear, so I will say that these two songs are back to back in my ranking. So I could really go either way here, but so let's go You and the Six. All right, next matchup, we got The Ride versus Diamonds Dancing.
So when we were making this, we had like I found like a streaming list of like all the streams. I feel like The Ride is maybe the like least played song off Take Care. The Ride, it's a good song. Very good song. Like, it's a banger track. I was very surprised by that. With that being said, though, I'm a big Diamonds Dancing guy.
Whoa, okay. I thought that lead up was for The Ride. I'm team The Ride here.
I'm okay with The Ride moving on. I just got to show my respect to Diamonds Dancing,
Yeah, Diamonds Dancing, I would say maybe is my favorite song off of What a Time to Be Alive. I really enjoy Diamonds Dancing. I actually would say I probably enjoyed Jersey by Future more, but that's, I mean, just an individual Future track on it. But between the two, I think I like Diamonds Dancing for the collabs. I mean, but yeah, the ride. I mean, it's just Drake going for so long. He just raps for minutes on minutes. I think it's a more impressive track. And I just definitely find myself listening to it more now.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's one that's crept up more as time's gone on with that. I wasn't bumping this when I was, in fourth grade listening to Take Care. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, anything that has a little bit of weekend flair on it on a Drake song, I'm gonna sort of love that a little bit more than some of their stuff. So yeah, the ride definitely gonna be a threat to make a run for me. Okay, next matchup here, we got Too Much versus 30 for 30 freestyle.
I really like 30 for 30 freestyle. It doesn't touch too much. I mean, I'll start off by saying that, so I don't trick you here. But Too Much is just such a slapper. I mean, the Sampha vocals on there and everything. It's just beautiful song.
Yeah, Sampha feature is beautiful. Drake has really good bars in the song, though. I will say, like,
no, yeah,
it's one that I maybe don't. I don't know. I definitely listened to a lot. Years ago when it dropped.
That beat switch too is.
Yeah, it's
Flow
good.
Switch, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good song. Listening to it today, revisiting it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is special.
That Flow Switch is mean too. I'm thinking about it just going through it in my head.
Yeah, and I don't know, 30 for 30 freestyle was one of my lower ranked tracks. Like, it's just okay compared to a lot of these to me.
I think it's really a sleeper off of What a Time to Be Alive. It's not going to get talked about much at all. The streams weren't there as well. And it's one, every once in a while when it comes on, I'm like, okay.
Definitely a sleeper. Yeah, I will say that. It's not a bad track, but definitely overlooked on What Time to Be Alive. Next matchup, this is a tough one.
This is a tough fucking matchup here.
We got Look What You've Done versus Dreams Money Can Buy.
God, these are like two finals contenders here for me personally. This is a very tough decision. Like, these are two of my favorite Drake tracks ever. Oh man, I'll let you pick first and kind of go from there. This is fuck.
I'd have to go with Look What You've Done, I think.
Okay, yeah, I'm in agreement there. That's where I was leaning, but I just wanted, if you said Dreams Money Can Buy, I just wanted a little argument back and forth so I could get Look What You've Done past. So
yeah, I love Dreams Money Can Buy.
This is a tough first
great song, but Look What You've Done. I mean, that's like introspective Drake at his best, doing some storytelling. Yeah, I think it's like one of Drake's best songs, probably. So it's gonna be, another contender here to make a run. But I think Dreams Money Can Buy also could have been, you know what I mean? So
this is a tough first round matchup. This isn't right.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, like when we were talking about last week, some of these matchups were kind of bad or whatever. I don't think there's any really bad matchups. You're like, this is a deep bracket.
I think the first two that we got into were kind of obvious picks, but those are like heavy hitters versus ones that are a little bit lower. So I mean,
all right, look what we've done. Moving on. Next matchup, we got Wu-Tang Forever versus Jungle.
I like Jungle here. I didn't listen to Jungle for a long time. I felt like I played it a lot when it first came out. And then I want to say probably like a few months ago, it just started coming back up in the rotation. And now I just like go find it every once in a while and play it probably once or twice a week. So I mean, Jungle hits for me.
Yeah, I think Jungle is a beautiful track. Great instrumentation on that one. I do love Wu-Tang Forever, though. It's a very good track. I think it's a very underrated track. I don't really hear people bumping Wu-Tang Forever too often. I do see some, Jungle love on, TikTok and Twitter even. But yeah, Wu-Tang Forever is special, but it's Jungle.
Yeah, I'm glad that clears for you as well.
Uh-huh. Next matchup here, we got Over My Dead Body versus No Tellin'.
This is like, I want Over My Dead Body to win. But I feel like we don't have like too much like actually like rap. Like Drake is it's a different vibe on No Tellin' versus the other tracks we got here. And for that one, I think I'd advance No Tellin'.
I don't know. I mean, I'd definitely go with Over My Dead Body. I mean, if you want to talk about Drake rapping, I mean, this is some of the best rapping he's had in his career. I mean, some of these lines at the beginning are just crazy. Thought I killed everybody in the game last year, man. Fuck it, I was on though. I mean,
we got a lot of Take Care love out there, and I do think Over My Dead Body should move on. I just don't. I kind of want to even it out, but fuck it, Over My Dead Body, move it on.
Yeah, we got. I love Take Care. Obviously, I think we both do, but I think that's very clear. But it's got to be Over My Dead Body. Like, I cannot play we got to have diversity here. But yeah, it's got to be the better song, and that is definitely Over My Dead Body. But speaking of, having an overload of Take Care, we're moving on to the second round on the left side of the bracket, and we have a Take Care matchup. We got Crew Love versus Camera's Good Ones Go interlude.
This is a tough one. I still think I'm rocking with OVOXO though, just an iconic collaboration.
Yep. I'm also rocking with Crew Love here. This is very close. I think Camera's Good One Go is like the definition of a deep cut. Like, when we're looking at a deep cut bracket, this is a song that is overlooked, but the ones that love it.
Oh yeah, I love Camera. Camera's is such a great track. It's going against, a monster. I mean,
yeah, I will say I think, Crew Love is a great song. But I do think there's some potential for it to be beat. It is a monster though, for sure, for now. All right, so Crew Love moving on. Next matchup, we got You and the Six versus The Ride.
I'm You and the Six here. I feel like if we'd done this bracket, I mean, even like 6 or 7 months ago, You and the Six just wasn't hitting the same. But like, I'd say over the last few months, it's been a beautiful track that I've been listening to. So,
okay, so it's like funny you mentioned that, because like I said, I just haven't been into You and the Six very much for a long time. But then hearing it today, I was like, okay, like it kind of started to pique my interest a little bit. So, maybe I'm at the first day of that couple months. Like, if you asked me in a couple months, I'd go with You and the Six, but it's today and I'm going with The Ride.
Ooh, this is our first, major disagreements here. I'll let you have it, because I don't think You and the Six is making it past this next round for me. So,
okay, The Ride.
I'll give you this one.
Okay, how are we gonna do vetoes today? We haven't really talked about that. Are we?
I think we just go back and forth, or
So is that a veto, or is that just your agreeing?
That's a veto there for sure.
Okay, I can live with that, I think.
And I mean, if you want to negotiate where you get 2 vetoes in a row, and then maybe I get 3 or something like that, we'll figure all that out. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. Next matchup, we got Too Much versus Look What You've Done.
This is Look What You've Done for me. I don't want to get say too much about this track just yet, but I mean, I'll say it once it gets knocked out or it wins, either one.
I will say, we talked about our favorite Drake song on every project in an earlier episode, and I went back to our Instagram to see what our favorite songs were, just to kind of like gauge where we're gonna be at. I thought, and I know you got love for that track, so
yeah. I mean, this is pretty easy here for me. Although Too Much is it's such a great song.
It is a great song. So hate to see it get knocked out, but it's getting knocked out to a great track. Next matchup here, we got Jungle versus Over My Dead Body.
This is tough. Where are you at on this one? I'll let you decide first. I feel like you're riding with Over My Dead Body.
I'm 100% riding with Over My Dead Body.
I'm okay with that, honestly. I love Over My Dead Body.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite tracks off Take Care. And this is gonna be most likely a Take Care dominated bracket, just because with that connection there,
Yeah, so with Over My Dead Body on, that sets up the Elite Eight from the left side is all Take Care. Which I didn't really want. That's why I moved a couple initially to the other side. So I mean, I guess that means we could have 6 of the 8 in the Elite Eight be Take Care, but whatever. These are great songs.
Deserving. I mean, Take Care has got so many sleepers on it. It's not my most slept on Drake album. We'll get into that a little bit later, but
yeah, great project, obviously. So let's see what the next matchup we have is. We have Crew Love versus The Ride.
I'm Crew Love here, but I'm not too partial to it or anything. So I mean, if you wanted The Ride to move on here, I'd be all right with it.
I think I'm going The Ride.
That's surprising, of course, but I mean,
I don't know. It's very tough. I think when you're talking about Drake songs, obviously you're talking about the song as a whole. We talked about this last week with, Lil Baby on Wants and Needs. But when I think of Crew Love, I think of that Weekend feature way more than I think of
Yeah.
Drake's verses. Whereas on The Ride, I think about just some of Drake's best rapping. So that's the reasoning for why I got to go with The Ride. I just don't think Drake's verse is like anywhere near the best he's ever done on Crew Love. And I think it's really just the Weeknd's contribution that makes it for me. So for that reason,
Drake's no slouch in Crew Love or anything like
no,
that.
definitely not. But
yeah, when you think of that, I do think of that, those vocals from the Weeknd. So I'm all right with The Ride moving on.
Okay, let's go with The Ride. Next matchup. This is a tough one because I remember when we were working on our favorite Drake song off of each project, these were the two that were in contention for me on Take Care. And it's Look What You've Done versus Over My Dead Body.
You know where I'm at here. Although I do love Over My Dead Body, that's probably one of my favorite tracks off of Take Care. Probably number 2, I would say, pretty confidently. I did, go back and forth for a few years on what my favorite track off Take Care was, but ultimately, Look What You've Done. It's taken that spot for me.
Yeah, and I'm Over My Dead Body. So is this going to be a veto for you?
It is.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So that sets up here the final 4 on the left side of the bracket. The Ride versus Look What You've Done. I'm fine with going Look What You've Done.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was going to be an argument there. I was going to give up all my vetoes for Look What You've Done and move fast.
No, I'll make it easy for you. I know that's where you wanted to go.
Yeah, especially since I tried to knock out The Ride a couple rounds ago. So
yeah, The Ride had its ride, a great run. But yeah, Look What You've Done. Great track. I do love The Ride, though. I think I'm very happy it made it here to the final 4. But yeah, all right. Look What You've Done wins the left side of the bracket. Let's see who wins the right side and who's going to face off against it. First matchup, right side, we got Furthest Thing versus Scholarships.
I love Furthest Thing. Scholarships is a very good track too, though. These are 2 of the tracks I had chosen, but I'd probably say Furthest Thing here. I think it's kind of the same situation, with Crew Love or Wants and Needs. Like when I think of this track, it's not just Drake. I also, hear the Future vocals in here as well. So for that, I'll go Furthest Thing.
This is easily Furthest Thing for me. Scholarships is definitely just a track that I don't go back to. If I'm gonna go to What a Time to Be Alive, I'm gonna go to Jumpman, Jersey, Diamonds Dancing, Change Locations, even not necessarily Scholarships. Whereas what I do think of Nothing Was the Same, I think of Furthest Thing way more. And that was like one of my favorite tracks when I was in high school. So gotta go Furthest Thing. All right, next matchup here, we got Weston Road Flows versus Marvin's Room.
I don't know if it's Marvin's Room being like so overplayed, like for me or what, but I'm not like huge into it anymore. Like I'll still listen to it and everything. Not a bad track by any means, but Weston Road Flows, that's one of my Drake tracks there. That's probably one of my favorite Drake tracks, I'd say. I feel like you're going to be Marvin's Room here, but I'm pretty convincingly Weston Road Flows.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely Marvin's Room here. I think I can be quoted as far back as 2014 saying this is my favorite song of all time. That has definitely changed. But in high school till probably like 2016, I was like, this is the best song, like my favorite song. I love this song. Good song. Definitely played it too much then.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. I'll listen to Western Road. I've been probably since it's came out. I've listened to it more consistently. My thing is too, I feel like it can be played in more situations.
Okay, I could agree with that logic, but I don't think that necessarily makes it a better track.
I think along with that, it's a better track. I mean,
okay. I just think, we're talking about like how iconic the tracks are last week and how much culture impact they have. Marvin's Room is like the sad boy anthem for all of eternity at this point.
Yeah, so at that point, is it a hit then?
Well, it's not on the charts. It's too long of a song. It's not pop material, but it just, for the deeper cuts, it's gone crazy. And I'm not saying that's the reasoning for why I just had to talk
No,
about
I get. I'm listening to your side here.
The sad boy game has changed with Marvin's Room. I was listening to it today, right before we recorded. That's like, I think the second to last song I listened to today before our recording. It was just hitting. I mean, Drake's verse, you have the singing. I'm just saying you could do better. I mean, that's classic. But then you get the rapping from Drake and he goes crazy. So yeah, I guess we're talking a lot about this, but we're still split. Are you going to veto here? I'll put the ball in your court.
Yeah, I can't let this track lose first round. Regardless of who it's against. That's a very good first round matchup there. I mean, just Western Road Flows is just, it's such a great track. I mean, I can't let it lose. That's my baby.
Okay, that's tough because I don't know. I don't want to see Marvin's Room lose the first round, but I guess I have a veto now, so I'll keep that in my back pocket for a special matchup here. Next matchup, we have 5 a.m. in Toronto versus Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, it like flies under the radar. With it being an older Drake track and everything, but I think it's pretty convincingly 5 a.m. in Toronto here. That is some of the best rapping Drake we've ever gotten.
100%, same page there. I just have a very vivid memory. I remember listening to Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I got an iPod Touch for Christmas, and I only had enough time to download, like, how many ever songs, 50 songs, whatever, or iTunes money. That was before Apple Music. So you still had to pay for per song or album. So I didn't have that many songs on it. And I remember we went to my mom's side of the family for Christmas that afternoon, and I only had enough time to get so many songs on there. And I could vividly remember being in the car on Christmas Day listening to Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. It's
a really good track though. I mean, like it definitely flies under the radar completely, but I mean, Toronto is one of those ones we could be talking around a few rounds from now. So
I think we will be, especially with my veto in my back pocket. All right, next matchup we have March 14th versus Lord Knows.
I love March 14th. I love all these tracks, of course, but Lord Knows that's just Rick Ross and Drake just have such great chemistry. That's underrated. That's an underrated duo right there.
100%.
I mean, just always a slapper, and Lord Knows, I mean, it fits the bill there. So,
okay, I'm glad. I know that March 14th. Actually, I think both those were your picks. I probably would have picked Lord Knows to be on the bracket if you hadn't. So I'm obviously going Lord Knows here. But yeah, March 14th is a song that I just don't find myself going back to. I think it's a cool story and all, but I just think the rapping is just so, I don't know, boring almost. Like he's not doing too much. Obviously the storytelling is doing something, I guess, but yeah, it's just not like anywhere near a lot of these songs to me. And then the ending goes on too long.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So yeah, for those reasons.
It's something I wanted to make this list, but I didn't expect it to get past the first round.
Respectable, yeah. I think that's how it was, like Sticky. So we all got those tracks. All right, next matchup we got War versus Star 67.
War's not gonna win here, obviously. Star 67. But War, I remember seeing like a clip of it, and it was a really like good rapping Drake track. I mean, we hadn't gotten something like that in a minute, and he's got the little British rapping going on after his little thing he did with Gigs. So I really like War though. It's pretty underrated. So that's just another one I wanted to make the list.
Okay, I'm definitely on Star 67 here. I thought War was just, I don't know. It was an interesting addition to the list. Definitely a track I don't go back to. But when I listened to it to get ready for this episode, like I tried to smile on my face. Like it was like just a fun listen. Hearing Drake do his little British flow, I was like, okay, but that was like a one-off listen. Like I'm not going to be bumping this off.
No, yeah, I've never been like too crazy about it, but I like giving it a nod. We need something off Dark Lane demos. So
yeah, I was noticing that we don't have Chicago Freestyle on here. Spoiler alert for anybody at home, but
I don't even know if I consider that a deep cut though.
I know it's like right in between deep cut and hit. So anyway, that's I guess why I didn't make it. But all right, let's move on to the next round. We have Views versus Race My Mind.
Views is really fucking good. It's pretty convincingly Views here for me. I'm not sure where you're at though.
This is another one where I hadn't gone back to in a minute. I could not tell you the last time I listened to Views until getting ready for this episode. And I guess I haven't really gone back to erase my mind too much, but it stuck out to me on the first listen. And then when I was looking at the songs I was going to pick for this, I really like Race My Mind. Like, I think Race My Mind has like the feel of a classic Drake track, because you have like the singing type Drake, but you also get pretty good rapping from him. And I don't know, has this nostalgic feel to it that I feel like he could be on a Thank Me Later or So Far Gone even, but is obviously very polished.
I'm not gonna like put my arm out there and get that chopped off for fucking Views. Like, Views isn't my favorite track off Views, but I mean, I think it's better than Race My Mind, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish here. I think that Views is a good song. Views might have been my favorite off of Views when it dropped. Like, I remember loving this. The sample is great at the beginning, and I think the beat drop into the verses are very good. I think it's a little bit long. I don't know. It just feels long. Maybe it's actually, it's only 5 minutes, I guess, but he's kind of just rapping like there's no second chorus or anything like that, second use of the sample. Like, it's just two verses, which I don't know. I kind of do like that because it's a little bit different from what you get with the Drake. Drake's kind of cut and paste with the format. So I guess that just having long verses is cool. But I kind of feel like it would have been so hard if it just ended after that first verse, like where he says, haven't flown with your boys in a minute. Like, that kind of was a hard ending. And that's what I thought when I was listening to it. But then he has a really hard ending with the second verse too, when he said, if I was you, I wouldn't like me either. And I mean, that's also a great ender. So I kind of had my complaint fixed. I was like, okay, like that's also a great ending. So yeah, I'm fine with going Views here. I think this is a close matchup.
I feel like, when I see those lists on TikTok where they're like ranking the top Drake tracks, this one creeps up pretty high. And I don't get it. I mean, it's a good track, but I mean, it's not my favorite, like I said, but I think Views should win here.
I think we spent a lot of time here on this matchup, and I don't think they're going to have much of a chance in the next round, but whatever. Let's see what we got for the next matchup. We have Pound Cake, Paris Morton Music 2 versus You With Me.
Well, I'll let you start here.
This is Pound Cake. This is easy. This is one of the best beats Drake's rapped on in his career. I think this and Lord Knows are two standouts for me on production side. You got two great sides of the song, but I do really enjoy You With Me. I remember when that dropped and you got the little beat switch up where it probably like 2/3 of the way in, or he switches the flow up. I really enjoyed that at the time, and I still liked it upon revisiting it, but Pound Cake is a classic.
It is a classic, I'm okay with that moving on, but You With Me I think it just got a very tough draw first round. I would have liked to see this one move on, especially it hits a little bit more, even with the DMX right at the beginning there. So, but I mean, we got through all the Views tracks. Views is like, that's my deep cut album there. Like, you're not going to get, you have your tracks like Hotline Bling, songs like that, but you have some sleepers that are very good tracks off Views. So
I think that's fair. I kind of wanted to have Keep the Family Close on here because that's a deep cut. I mean, obviously it's the intro, but I don't hear people talking about it anymore. I thought that was a good track. So I almost made this, but it didn't. But yeah, we got two View songs moving on at least. So that's cool. Next matchup, we got The Calm versus Teenage Fever.
We didn't put Do Not Disturb on the list. I feel like that's not. That's like one of the in-betweeners as well, where it could be considered a hit. But I guess this is our track off More Life. But I'm riding with The Calm. I love The Calm. That's just such a great track to me.
It's Teenage Fever for me. And so I guess it's now Donnie's my veto on Teenage Fever. And I don't think I do. So I think we're going The Calm.
I don't think it's going to matter too much.
I don't think it is either. I think this is a really tough matchup second round. Personally, I definitely would have gone Teenage Fever there. I don't know. It's one of my favorite songs. Definitely from like the post. If you're reading this, it's too late.
Use your veto then. Use your veto then.
I'm not using my veto because it does.
Come on, it's one of your favorites. Use it.
I do love it, but
I mean, it's
in my back pocket.
You're really gonna do one of your favorites like that over a veto?
Yeah, but I say one of my favorites loosely. Like,
yeah, it really sounds like one of your favorites.
It's not.
Where'd you rank The Calm?
I'll tell you where I rate the calm. Dead last. I ranked
Dead last, and you're gonna let Teenage Fever lose to that dead last track.
I'll tell you right now, it was 12 versus 32 on my bracket.
And you're gonna let that? You're really gonna let this veto control you?
I know
like
that's
that?
a deep 20.
Yeah, I mean, see, at least in my vetoes, I was genuine. I was throwing them out there when they needed to be.
You could have seen what the matchups were gonna be in the future too. I see it. I'm not using my veto here. All right, let's move on to the next round. We got Furthest Thing versus Weston Road Flows.
I'm Weston Road Flows here. I love Furthest Thing.
I'm Furthest Thing. Man, 2 vetoes for you. What are you thinking here? Are you dying on Weston Road Flows?
I love Furthest Thing. It's a fuck. These are both top 8 quality tracks here out of this list. I've been trying to mock up this little list in my mind so I can cheat like you.
I don't even get where you're getting this cheating shit at. Like, I just ranked the songs that you had access to too.
I get it. Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
I gotta go with Western Road Flows.
So if it loses, doubling down?
I'm doubling down. Like, just some Vince Carter through the arm in the hoop shit, like.
Okay, so we're going Western Road Flows then, and I will keep another one in the pocket.
Take them all. Veto. You can just veto the rest of this fucking bracket.
Okay, so we're going with what I want. All right, next matchup we got 5 a.m. in Toronto versus Lord Knows. This is 5 a.m. in Toronto for me very easily.
Yeah, that's an easy decision there. No disagreements there.
Okay, I'm glad. Next matchup we got Star 67 versus Views.
Star 67 easily.
Okay, we got a couple easy ones here, I guess, and I think another easy one. We got the Calm versus Pound Cake, Paris Morton Music 2.
Yeah.
Okay, those are 3 really easy matchups right there. So I might have been saving these vetoes for no reason. Whatever, we'll see how it looks next round. We got Western Road Flows versus 5 a.m. in Toronto.
5 a.m. Toronto has to move on because Jonathon has more power. He didn't use his vetoes early like me, but I'm just saying, if this is my bracket, Western Road Flows wins here.
It's 5 a.m. in Toronto.
They're just such different tracks,
They definitely are, but yeah, 5 in Toronto is.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Listen to that.
Next matchup, we got Star 67 versus Pound Cake.
I like Star 67 here.
I do too. Which I think is kind of surprising. I think Pound Cake is a very, very loved Drake track.
It's good, but Star 67 that's different.
It is. Like the line, I feel better with the rider in my system. Like, I don't know why. Just hits.
No, that intro, that's Star 67 is a very good track. That's a deep cut for sure.
It is. Let's see. Next matchup, we got 5 a.m. in Toronto versus Star 67, the final 4 on the right side to move on to the championship against Look What You've Done.
This is a tough one. I'll let you choose here. Regardless, it's your decision. So
I guess either way, yeah. And I do have the power to decide the championship game right now too. So I won't, though. We'll try to agree on that. We'll see how that goes. I'll just decide this one. 5 a.m. Toronto versus Star 67. So the thing here is, I think for years I've said that 5 a.m. in Toronto is Drake's best song. So I really want to go with 5 a.m. in Toronto. But I definitely listen to Star 67 more. So does that change my ranking of what's the best Drake song?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Because you had the Calm 32 and Teenage Fever at 12. So like what are you really gonna decide here? How's your fraudulent list coming along?
I'll tell you right now that in the rankings, these are 1 and 2 on my list in my power rankings. And 5 a.m. in Toronto is number 1. So let's move that on. Fraudulent. You're sat here coming for my neck this week, huh? All right, championship matchup. We got Look What You've Done versus 5 a.m. in Toronto. And like I said, I will not use a veto here. We can come to an agreement.
Very, very different vibes here.
100%.
I think you look at what Drake, the message from Look What You've Done, like dedicating it to his mother's grandma and his uncle, those are important people that he does not end up making, 5 a.m. Toronto or tracks like that. He doesn't become Drake without those people. I think the meaning behind "Look What You've Done," and it's just a great track. I mean, that's my argument for it. That's why I would choose it as the winner.
Okay. My argument for 5 a.m. in Toronto is that's Drake's best rapping he's ever done. I mean, you got some great production, but then the rapping is what sets it apart. Drake's always, he's going to have access to whoever he wants to produce, but the rapping is what sets tracks apart. And I mean, when he has the verse about that's why every song sounds like Drake featuring Drake. I mean, that's a great bar.
The bullets flying backwards. That's a good bar. It's just, this is really tough to choose because they're so different.
They are. On my King James shit, I'm just trying to win here again. That should set it apart for you. I mean, you.
It's like 09 in your basement, and I'm in love with Nebby. Like. It's just this is very
so tough
because they're just so different. Like,
man, I don't know. It is tough.
I think we can IG pull this.
We can IG pull it, but let's come up with a decision for ourselves. The thing is, I will say, I think that Look What You've Done is the more like popular track. So I hate to see it win for that reason. Like people are like, oh, I haven't heard 5 a.m. in Toronto. I'm sure most people have that follow us, you know what I mean? But I'm sure some haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with it coming out on care package and everything, like
I guess that's true. I guess
if you're missing 5 a.m. in Toronto, that's on you. Like
it is.
Yeah. Like,
so I guess we'll leave it up to the IG poll, but yeah, I'm definitely team 5 a.m. in Toronto.
I'm Look What You've Done. That's my favorite Drake track ever. Versus
your
favorite, yeah.
I know, and 5 a.m. in Toronto is mine. So I guess I don't think it's really either of us can win. Like it's it's just a 50-50 split. I will say though that I do love Look What You've Done.
If I'm going rap Drake, I would go 5 a.m. Toronto, but if I'm going Drake as a whole, I gotta go with Look What You've Done.
I will say though that on my rankings, I had Look What You've Done at 9, just for your reference, so you can see that I do love it. Like it is
9. That's a top 5 Drake track. What's in between? What is in between 1 and 2? You want to hear what I had above 9? It? Yeah.
Okay. And some of these lost. I didn't fight for some of them as much. So you had vetoes on some. But anyway, this is what I had. Star 67.
That's like valid enough.
Yeah, tell me valid, tell me not valid. Star 67, The Ride.
Come on.
No? Okay.
Come on. That's not. It's like, it doesn't deserve that reaction, I guess, but come on.
And this is in no order. Yeah. This is just, I'm telling you my 9. Over My Dead Body.
I can listen to that argument.
Crew Love.
I can listen to that argument.
Jungle. That one might be a stretch. Yeah. That one's close. Too Much.
Yeah, I'd listen to that, but these are like, this is razor tight here. Yeah.
And I do have Camera's Good Ones Go interlude.
You got the superior track back there at 9. Okay. I'd personally, I'm very partial to this song. I'm gonna fight for it a lot. It's one of my it's my favorite Drake track. So
okay, yeah, I don't think there's gonna be an agreement here. So
how close is your like 1 to 9? Like how far away would you say that is? Would you say it's significant, or it's a pretty tight decision?
I think that my top 5 is pretty, like, I love those, and then the next one I really enjoy, I love too, I guess, but just a little bit. It's one step lower. We're not talking a huge gap. There's some obviously nostalgia at play here. I love these. I have connections to these for whatever reasons, and then some I've just listened to more. Like a Star 67, isn't as old as a Take Care track. I haven't had as many years with it, but I think it's just a song that I listen to way more, and that's why it's so high on my list. Yeah, I don't know. I do love Look What You've Done, though. I don't know. It's
like you're questioning your list again here.
I'm not questioning it. I just do love both of them. That's why it is a tough matchup.
Definitely. I knew there's gonna be some disagreements here where there's gonna be some overlap, and we just weren't gonna be able to agree. I mean, that's just how it is, with 2 hosts here. So
I know we really need a third person or a tiebreaker of some sort. And I guess it's the IG polls. I guess that's going to be the tiebreaker now until we can settle in on some sort of tiebreaker while it's happening. Because that's like an after the fact thing, which is fine. You guys are going to hear this and you're not gonna have a decision on who the number one or what the number one Drake deep cut is. But yeah, we'll get it to you next week, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go vote on the poll. I mean, we'll see.
Please go vote on the poll. This is going to be a big one. I mean, I don't think we can go wrong. Like, if it was, look what you've done. Like, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It's not like it's war. Like, it's whatever.
You know, I'll play the war intro.
Yeah. All right. IG poll. Tap in. Go vote. Yeah. We'll see who.
I don't think either of us are wrong. So
no, I think we're both right. Where does 5 even trying to rank on your list if you had a list?
I'd have a really like, because there's like rapping. I think I'd have to have a different list. You know, like rap flows or songs like what you've done. Overall, I mean, it's for sure top 10 track. I'm trying to think of what I would have ahead of it though.
Valid. So I guess we're kind of on the same page on that though. Like we're both like, our one versus a top 10. So yeah, I think that's, I don't know, it's a good matchup. But yeah, we talked a lot about this. No decision. Go to IG. That's the wrap up here. Let's move on to the news. Like we said earlier, we're recording this on Wednesday. You're going to hear it on Monday. So we have some new releases that are supposed to drop on Friday. Things change. There might be more releases, surprise releases. You never know. But right now, we're looking at projects from G Herbo, Lucky, Wi-Fi's Funeral, Willow, and Dermot Kennedy. And then we get some singles from Lil Nas X, Young Gravy, and Quedeca. Anything here that you're especially looking forward to?
Pretty light week. The Lucky project. I mean, I know that's something you're pretty big on, someone you're pretty big on. So definitely going to give that a listen. I'm not too big into G Herbo or that whole, trap scene, but it's a Chicago legend there. So
facts. I'm definitely looking forward to Lucky. Shout out to Quedeca. That single is pretty cool. It actually dropped the other day. Almost a week ago by the time you guys are going to hear this, but good track if you haven't heard it. Yeah, light week though for sure. Nothing too crazy.
We haven't had a big project in a second. Like, who was the last like big name to drop? Like,
I mean, I don't know. It depends who you consider big. Like,
yeah, like I'm talking like
JID big or no?
Yeah, like I'd say JID was like the last like top 10 contender we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, even it was
maybe Joey or somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, kind of light, but there have been good projects since then. So still a lot of music coming out. All right. Other news we got: Post Malone at his concert in St. Louis fell through a hole in the stage, broke a couple ribs, came out and finished the show. What do you think about that?
We could have been there watching that. I know you're not a big Posty guy, but that's someone I kind of want to see in concert. But I haven't heard good things from the people that I've heard that have seen him. So prayers up for him though. That sucked to happen. Like, imagine that happened to Kanye. Kanye freaked the fuck out.
Oh, there's no way Kanye's finishing the show. So shout out to Post Malone for coming back and finishing the show. Like, that's commitment. He's still on the tour. I don't know how much like a broken rib affects you, because like I feel like it would, like with your like lungs and stuff, like when you're singing and moving around. But shout out to Post, he's making it work. He does seem like he'd be a guy that wouldn't like let something like that stop his tour though. So
I mean, he's on stage getting drunk every night. So I mean,
yeah, he doesn't feel it.
Yeah, I'd hope he can work through that.
All right, next news here: Kanye's Yeezy shades are allegedly going to cost $20. Are these a cop for you? What do you think about the Yeezy shades?
I mean, for $20, I feel like they're a must cop. Fuck it. I'll be like AB. I'll be doing my dance in the Yeezy shades. So
I think they're kind of funny. Like, I don't wear sunglasses really. Obviously, we both got glasses, so whatever. But I think they're super funny. Like, they have potential to be the new like clout goggles or the like stutter shades that Kanye used to wear. Like, these have potential. These feel like an era of Kanye. They match the aesthetic of like the all black, workwear type stuff that Kanye wears, big jackets, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think these will feel like something like when you look at those stutter shades that he was wearing, like graduation era. This is that era, so it'd be nice to have, I think.
I remember I used to want a pair of those so fucking bad, and Lauren had like a bunch of pairs of them, and I always used to ask her for a pair, and she would never give me one. But like on my birthday one time, she gave me one. I was so happy. But
that's so fire.
Yeah, no, those shades were it.
The stutter shades were different. Yeah, my sister Lauren that he's talking about had, I don't know, probably 8 pairs at least. Like, she got a pack.
I used to covet those
pink and yellow and orange and blue and white and black. All the colors you could think of. Yeah, I used to just take them out of a room and just throw them on every now and then. Because
I
I think
went
that
to
was at the age before I had glasses anyway, so I could just be like throwing them on for fun. One year, I think it was my junior year of high school, maybe, we had a Halloween dance, and I was just lazy and I was not trying to do all that because it was like basketball season. I could practice. I was trying to go to this, whatever. And it was like through Link Crew, which is like a mentoring thing for the freshmen that juniors and seniors do. And so I was like a mentor or whatever. So I had to go. I went and I dressed up as Schoolboy Q, and all I did was wear a bucket hat and stutter shades. And just like my normal clothes, like jeans and like a crew neck.
like a corn jerker shirt, like a Fear the Ear shirt.
No, it was just a plain Jordan crew neck gray, but
Okay.
but yeah, the corn jerker stuff would have been so funny if I was just like literally fresh out of basketball and then just put on the bucket. I was like, yeah, I'm
That bucket
Schoolboy
hat
Q.
used to be iconic though. Like back in the day, my GTA character used to always have the bucket hat, the shades on. So I mean,
That is tough. I also don't know how many people even knew who Schoolboy Q was. Like,
no, yeah.
like it wasn't a good representation of Schoolboy Q, but it was like even worse because nobody would have known even if I was dressed up like very well as Schoolboy Q. And that's just, it was probably what, 2015. So he's like just off oxymoron. So he's not like big at all, not the level he's at. So it was just a super random person, but like I had the items to do it, so we did it. I think the bucket was also my sister's. Actually, I know it was. So yeah, I think I just took things from her closet to be Schoolboy Q.
There you go.
Yeah, got to work with what you got, I guess. All right, next news here. Freddie Gibbs posted the track list for his upcoming album Soul Sold Separately. The feature list is looking crazy. We just talked about, there hasn't been a huge album, but this is one that I think has to be in contention for that top 10 spot at least. The feature list includes Kelly Price, Offset, Moneybag Yo, Rick Ross, Anderson .Paak, Raekwon, DJ Paul, Pusha T, Music Soul Child, and Scarface. This is a wild track list.
It is. I'm really excited for the Offset future. I've really been big into what Takeoff and Quavo have been doing with the Unconfused dynamic there. But I'm interested to see what Takeoff does. That was at a time that was one of my favorite members of the Migos. I feel like they've all had their run for me. But I mean, with them being broken up and him kind of taking on this solo career, I'm interested to see what he's going to sound like.
For sure. I think he's probably the most talented member of the Migos. So yeah, I think he could go crazy on this track. I am very excited for the Anderson .Paak feature though, and then the Pusha T. I think that those two are gonna go crazy. Like Pusha T and Freddie, elite. Like you got Palm Olive off of Bandana, and that feature was crazy from Push. I think one of his best. I think it got like verse of the year on Complex or something the year it dropped. So yeah, I have high hopes for this whole project, but gonna be crazy. All right, sticking on Pusha T though, we got some news. He's working on a new solo album and a special project. I know you had some, ideas of what this special project could be. Tell the listeners.
I mean, you got to know if it's being listed as that. I'd hope it's Eclipse reunion. I can't think of much else it could be with them, having that noting for it and everything. That's my hope, of course. I can't think of much else though, what it would be.
Yeah, I think that could be crazy. A super special moment if that does happen. Obviously, I think they've been a little bit more active together.
Yeah, I mean,
recently.
I know Nico.
Yeah, and then I mean, even back to
Jesus is King.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's definitely possible. Like, they're definitely working. So we'll see.
That's one for New York. It's not very likely to happen, but if he brought out No Malice, I'd be happy with that.
That'd be fire. Like, I feel like it'd be a guess that people like would either love or they.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really going to care.
Yeah, I don't know the last time they performed together. Maybe it's been,
they're doing. There's a Virginia Beach. They're doing a show. I think it's like the really close in dates to the New York Rolling Loud. So I'd assume they do a reunion there. But I mean, a man can hope, of course.
But yeah, I'm excited for some Pusha T. I'm gonna be seeing Pusha T Thursday, the week that this drops. St. Louis, the pageant with IDK as the opener.
I'm trying to think of my way. I can scheme my way into that, but I don't have very much personal time off anymore with taking a vacation, and then obviously the Lyrical Lemonade one as well. I did just order the It's Almost Dry vinyl, the pre-order for it. So
Fire. What is it? A black vinyl or what color is the record?
it didn't say. It was just like the pre-order for it. So we'll see how it comes.
I feel like they could do something cool with that. But yeah, I'm very excited to see Pusha T live. Obviously excited to see IDK as well, but I've seen him, once now. So never seen Push. Very excited. Loved It's Almost Dry. Loved Daytona. I was looking at his track list. He does like almost all of Daytona, which is it's crazy. I mean, it's
I'm
a super short album, obviously.
Super excited for that.
Yeah.
One that I don't think he'll play in New York, but I want is Hard Piano.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the track list right now of what he's been doing, but it's possible, I guess. Never rule it out.
Love Hard. That's probably my favorite track off Daytona. So that's a pretty good one there.
Yeah, there's definitely just some crazy tracks on it. Like, obviously I love some of the new tracks, just so you remember all that. But I mean, I'm glad he does Nostalgia. I mean, that's fire. Come Back Baby, I'm glad he does. And then he does some of the features that he's had over the years.
Like Runaway.
I think that's the one where I'm just going to go so crazy. Like, oh, I'm loving it. I already have it all planned out. I'm hoping to be at the spot that me and Levi were at in St. Louis when we saw Baby Keem. We're like 10 feet away, not pushing around down there. I don't think Pusha T's to be a pushy crowd, obviously. I think it's to be a lot of like standing vibing, but either way, I'm loving the spot that we had for Baby Keem. If you saw any of my stories on Instagram or whatever,
Pusha T, I think that's what I'm going to camp for in whatever order they're going to Pusha T or Big Sean, or flip that around. So that's one I want to camp for, and I don't think the crowd's going to be too crazy for either of those guys. So I'd like to get up front. So
yeah, I think that could be fire. Like, you're not going to be dying in there, I don't think so. I think it's a good crowd to be at the front of. I've never been like rail at a concert like that, or a festival like that, I should say, but I'm sure some of them are crazier than others, and this would definitely be back end.
We'll see what happens. We'll know next episode.
We will. All right, next news here. Future sells his publishing catalog for $65 million to $75 million reportedly. What are your thoughts on this?
It's kind of crazy. It's crazy to actually think about, selling every single song you made and, selling all the rights to it and everything. I think it's a good play though.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
for the right dollar, I think it's a good move. And obviously this is not pennies. This is millions. This is a big move. I mean, there's talks of Kanye apparently looking to sell his for 175 million, which is
nuts.
A way larger amount, but he's Kanye. He's got way more material. And I think he's, just a larger figure in rap historically and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see him getting whatever price he wants with the right buyer. Obviously, I don't know who can pay that much money, but for Kanye, I think it's possible.
Like Drake doing a $400 million like lifetime deal, pretty much. So I mean, it's just crazy the amount they're getting paid well.
So crazy. This is not music related, but did you see did you see that Steph Curry might be signing a lifetime deal with Under Armour?
Yeah, I saw
Billy.
Yeah, I'd hate to see what LeBron's lifetime. I feel like it was too long ago. So I mean, I would love to see what they paid him for that lifetime deal. But these lifetime deals are just crazy. Like,
it's so crazy because I mean, if you look at Steph Curry, I mean, he's got probably maybe 5-6 years left in the league. Because
but keep retroing him and everything.
But then they got so many years after that. So, and he's obviously a legend. He's changed the game. So yeah, I think that's a great buy for them. But it's just so crazy. Like, I didn't know Under Armour had $1 billion to drop like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're like that,
I know, but it's crazy. Like $1 billion. That seems like so much, like unfathomable money. But yeah, it's wild because I saw a clip of like Steph talking about how much money he would take to, do something. I think it was either retire or maybe do a lifetime contract. I think he said 500 million. So doubling that up is pretty wild.
That is. We'll have to get an update on that if he ever signs, because Billy's crazy. That's $1 billion net worth there. Not very many basketball players have done that. So
that'd be huge. But yeah, I think that just about wraps up the episode.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
Have a good week at Rolling Loud. Hoping you have a good time. But yeah, make sure to go vote on the Drake poll. We need a decision from you guys on which song is gonna win the Drake deep cuts bracket, because there was no way we were gonna decide. I think we could have gone back and forth for half an hour just talking about how much we enjoy both those songs and still not come up with a decision. So had to cut it.
We'll
but
let the fans decide, you know.
yeah, that's the real decision of second half. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next week with another banger, of course.
Peace.
Peace.